Okay, so now getting back more specifically into self-congruity, we're going to talk about the 4 different types of self-congruity, which is based on the match between specific facets of self-concept and the brand's image. So actual self-congruity, as the name implies, is the match or the congruence between the consumer's actual self-concept and the brand image. Something about my brand schema, the way that I perceive the brand, certain traits in there match up with how I view myself, the type of person that I believe I actually am. So that results in actual self-congruity. So here we have brand A, we have this consumer, the preteen, athletic, modern girl, that matches up with the brand's image, and hence there's a match between the brand image and the actual self-concept, resulting in actual self-congruity. And the actual self-congruity would result in the self-congruity effect, or the image congruity effect, which is the purchase intentions, behavior, attitudes, particularly if the consumer is driven by their self-consistency motive. So the consumer wants to maintain consistency with the kind of person they believe themselves to be. If there's a match between the brand image and the consumer's ideal self-concept, so the kind of person that they want to be ideally, then we call this ideal self-congruity. Well, let's say that this is her actual self-image, her actual self, I'm just a preteen, kind of a tomboy, but I wish I looked like the Sports Illustrated model. That's the image associated with, let's say, a certain brand of clothing. Then that would be a match between her ideal self-concept and the brand image. And that would lead to the image congruity effect of positive attitudes, purchase intentions, behavior, if the consumer is driven by the self-esteem motive, which means the motivation to achieve that ideal self-concept. And certainly the greater the distance between the actual and the ideal, that increases the tension, right, which would increase the likelihood the person would be motivated to achieve their ideal. Now, if we're talking that your ideal isn't that far off from your actual self-image, then the person isn't going to be strongly motivated by the self-esteem motive. But if they're a little bit further apart, okay, then we have the public facets. So there was the social and the ideal social self-concept. So we have social self-congruity, which is the match of the brand image with the consumer's social self-concept, which, if you recall, that's how I think others view me. So this would be what I think your schema is of who I am, how I think you view me. If the brand's image matches up with that view that I think you have of me, then I would experience image congruity. I would perceive image congruity with that brand. Okay. And so let's just say that that's the consumer, and her classmates, she believes that they view her as very studious type of student. If that matches up with the brand's image, then there's the congruity effect there. This would result in the image congruity effect of attitudes, purchase intentions, and behavior if the consumer is driven by the social consistency motive, so the desire or the need to maintain the social self-concept. And certainly if there was a threat to her social self-concept, if you view yourself as a very studious, good student, and all of a sudden, I don't know, let's say you get an F on an exam, now there's a threat to that self-concept, then that would motivate you more to maintain consistency with that and to do whatever you have to do to feel better about yourself again, that you've maintained your social self-image. Okay, and then lastly, the ideal social, which is the kind of person you think others want you to be, ideally. The match between the brand image and the ideal social self-concept is referred to as ideal social self-congruity. This college girl's friends, if she thinks that they wish that she was more of a party girl, fun, exciting to be around, but she's kind of dull, then she might experience image congruity with a brand that reflects that wild, fun, party, youthful image. And that would lead to the image congruity effect, assuming she is driven by the social approval motive, the desire to achieve that ideal social self-concept. Those are the 4 types of self-congruity, which are related to the 4 different self-concept motives.